Okay, does social media and online dating apps and apps like WhatsApp, do they cause mental health problems? Let's have a conversation about this, and I'm going to give you some tips, as I always do on this video, things that have been working for me lately, that have been giving me more confidence and helping me to maintain a better mental health. So before we get into it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Guys, I know a lot of you might watch my videos and you might enjoy them, which is great, but sometimes people forget to hit that subscribe button. So if you want to support me in any way, subscribing, I really appreciate that. It makes a big difference with the channel growing, because some people have got a habit, I've done it myself, they go to different channels and they watch videos and they enjoy them, but they don't subscribe to the channel. And it's a lot easier because when you're subscribed, you're notified when I put videos out. You haven't got to keep going on the search bar and typing in my name. So I appreciate all of you that have done that, and I hope all of you are doing a lot better than the last time we spoke, and I hope it continues. I've got a lot to process today, so forgive me if I'm having to go in my head a bit and pull some information out, because it's been an eventful last few weeks and I've enjoyed it. I've been really social, which is never ever a bad thing. But you know, one of the big dangers today with a lot of people, I feel, I include myself in that, is people forget the value of meeting people in person. You know, I don't want to sound cheesy and overly humanitarian, which is nothing wrong with that. But, you know, I think sometimes today, the times we're living in, where social media just seems to be more important than anything. People seem to be more concerned with how they look in an Instagram picture or on their Facebook or on their dating profile than they actually do with, you know, how they show up in person. Like what the things that are really important in our lives: our family, our health, our happiness, our friends, our hobbies, you know, the activities that we do in the real world. And I think sometimes the time we're living in, we think social media is reality, and for most part it's a fictional world. Now, I'm not saying all of it. Obviously, I love YouTube, so I'm not knocking YouTube. YouTube's always been good to me, because at least when you go online, you see videos of people and it's real, you know, well, some of it's real. You can watch documentaries, and, you know, a video like I'm doing now, I can't be any more real than this. This is me being myself, being vulnerable, and talking about things that I will talk about when the camera's off to a friend or a family member, or a conversation I have with myself in my head. But the whole Instagramming and this whole trying to project a perfect life, which in reality is a lie. None of us have a perfect life. Even when things are going great, we have challenges, and, you know, people just tend to show all the good bits in their life, and that's all good and well. But when you start doing these things like faking it till you make it, what happens when people find out the truth then? If I'm just telling you all the good things about me and I'm just showing you all of the good things, then if you get to know me a bit more, if I get to know you a bit more, we're going to see the cracks. We all have it. We're going to see the challenges. We all have stresses. We all have financial stress, challenges, relationship, health, fitness. Yeah, of course, there's times where things are going well, and of course we want that. But the reality is, no matter what you do in life, you're going to have your challenges. But on social media, people do anything to get the likes. When you think about it, you wouldn't really behave like that in person. People would think you were touched in the head. If you were running up and down trying to get people to like you, people probably wouldn't like you. But on social media, people don't think like that. It's, I'll post anything, I'll pretty much do anything. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I think people are intelligent enough to know that. But that's generally the way it makes all of us think, and we've all been guilty of it at some point. I include myself in all this. Some have got it, you know, some are more extreme. So I do think, since going through the lockdown and the COVID, it's human nature to, even though you don't like something, you get used to it. So I had to unburden myself. I had to dig myself out of that hole, and, you know, as soon as we could, now I'm socializing a hell of a lot, which is a good thing, because sometimes you've got to meet up with your family in person, or your friends, or go on a date to realize, do you know what? I forgot how great this feels. You know, it's not just great for you. It's not just a selfish thing. It's good for the other person if you, in most cases, being genuine, respectful, whoever you're spending time with. You know, that's the whole point of friendship, fellowship, is to give one another. And again, I'm not sounding cheesy, but it's to give everyone that amazing gift. And that gift doesn't cost anything. It's just a bit of humanity, just a bit of kindness, a bit of decency, a bit of love, a bit of respect, and just having a nice conversation with someone. You can't put a price on that. But today it seems like people don't value that anymore, or at least in their thinking, until they experience it or until they're deprived of it for such a long time. That's when people's hearts start aching and say, do you know what? I've got all these millions of followers following me on Instagram. I've got all these people telling me that they love me and liking my post and commenting. But I've come to a point where I feel empty. I feel like a broken person. I feel sad. I feel miserable. Why is that? Well, it's obvious. Because it's not real human connection. Even though it's real humans typing and saying that, it's not the same. It's too robotic. It's too robotic. It's too robust. There's something not real about it. So I'm not completely knocking social media by any means. It has so many positives. And I was thinking about this the other day, like personally, my passion, my hobby, which has been for a long time, probably more over the last few years since I had the breakdown in 2017, which has set me back, right? But that's good because this part of life challenges, and again, it's me being honest. I'm not a victim, I don't need sympathy, but I'm just here to say, look, I've had an amazing life, I've had a lot of success, but I've had terrible challenges, or you could just say challenges, mental health challenges, and I'm still in the process of getting myself back to winning ways. So, you know, the good thing about social media is that it gives you a platform. A lot of people can build businesses. Another great thing is say someone moves from Russia and they live in London. A young person comes on their own to start a better life, or for whatever reason, to go to university or to change. They miss their family, who they're close with. The family miss them. At least they can go on Skype or Zoom and they can have a video call, which is a lot more intimate than a phone call, and kind of keep some kind of connection going. Although that's not better than the real thing, but it's better. It's good. It helps. It does help. Or if you can't, sometimes if you haven't got any money and you need to call someone abroad, there's things you can use that are free that, like I said, that don't charge, like a Zoom call. I think Skype do it. WhatsApp's obviously free. You can do a WhatsApp video call. There's most of the platforms now. You can go live and talk to someone, and that's really good and helpful, right? So like I said, there are pros and the cons. Now, this is my solution to this problem. I haven't got all the answers. I don't think anyone has. But what I've found works is balance. Another cheesy line, I'm going to say it, right? I'm born in the 80s. I love the Karate Kid films. Let me know in the box below if you're the same. Miyagi says to Daniel's son, and if anyone hasn't seen that film, it's a classic film. Mr. Miyagi's the teacher, he's the guru in it. Daniel's son is the student. And they build a great friendship. And Daniel's going through challenges in his life. He's getting bullied by these other Cobra Kai guys in a different dojo. He's having problems with women. He's struggling with his confidence. And, you know, Daniel's son says, Miyagi says, Daniel's son, you must find balance. Balance is the key. When you find balance, then everything will work out in your life with the girls, with karate, with self-defense and with happiness. And I found the same with social media. Must find balance, and the balance is you've got to be socializing with people in real life. I don't know the exact form. I can't say 80% of the time. I'm not going to get into all that. That's too obsessive. But you know what the balance is. You know, you're going out, you're spending time with friends, family. You're engaging with the public. You know, when you're in a supermarket, you say hello. These are all the things and that makes such a difference to your mental health. So I don't think going on social media for a few hours a day is bad for you unless you're not now if you're not socializing, catastrophic for your mental health. And I'll go even deeper, right? Sometimes we do put too much blame on social media, even though it has its negatives, it has its positives. We've got to take responsibility. No one's grabbing you and forcing you to go on social media. The same way it's your choice to watch my videos. It's our choice to go on Instagram or not. If it bothers you and you don't like the things that people are posting or the way they're living, or if they're showing off or however they're behaving, you haven't got to look at it. That's what I do. I distance myself. I don't look at things that are negative or where I think I don't really like the way that they conduct themselves. I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to look at people that are positive, So we do have a choice. I'm not saying it's easy because we're all addicted to it, and that's another conversation. We could go into that for hours, but it's using the tool in a positive way, not letting it destroy your mental health. But a big part of the mental health problems, in my experience, is isolation, being in the house too long. Now, I know that's an irony because we've had to isolate for 2 years. I'm just talking in general before COVID, and I want to talk, in looking at the future, a bright future. So for me, it's about getting out of the house, getting off social media. Now, when you're looking at dating apps, again, I'm not a fan of online dating. Personally, I don't do it, right? But I'm not going to knock someone for doing it. If you do that and it makes you happy and it works for you, fantastic. But it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for many men. I think doing online, sitting at home, on your phone, going through, swiping left or right or yes or no, spending all that time, it's not healthy. When you could be out in real life, meeting a woman, having a real organic conversation with a woman in real time, without hiding behind the machine or profiles or pictures, or in some cases, some people, a pack of lies. I'm not saying everyone who goes online is lying. I'm not saying that, but a lot of people do. I'm just trying to, be as factual and honest about this. So I don't think it's healthy. I think there is, like when we were younger, I don't know what age you guys are when you grew up, right? I'm from the 80s, as I said. When we were kids, right? Now, it wasn't perfect, but we were happy for most part because we were always out, we were always together, we all were always talking, we were always playing football. For most part, most people that I wasn't a perfect kid, but I was a good kid. We mostly, we weren't up to no good. We were doing positive things. We were playing football all day. We'd go swimming. We'd go to one another's houses. Our parents knew each other. We'd have dinner, we'd play video games, we'd watch a film, but we spent a lot of time outside. We were exhausted. That's probably why I was such a skinny kid. I was always out burning off energy. We were walking, we were traveling, we were doing day trips, cinema. It was wonderful. But today we just don't seem to do that as much. This generation today just seems to be just completely cut off from society. They just seem to be in Cuckoo Land, wherever that is. If any of you know where Cuckoo Land is, let me know in the box below. I might see if I can get I get a little Uber sorted out or get a little EasyJet and do a trip. But I'm just joking, having a bit of a laugh. But I'm being honest. Today it just feels like the lights are on, but no one's home. Everyone's glued to their phones. State the obvious. And again, whether you're looking at online dating apps, you're still, again, it's the apps. Whether you're on the Facebook apps, Instagram, it's the whole app generation. Too much apps, of course you're going to get bad mental health. Of course you're going to be paranoid, anxious, nervous, depressed, fearful. You're going to have overwhelmed, detached, miserable, angry, of course, jealous, because it's too much time on it. Whereas if you go out and do things, which I make a point of doing, like yesterday, 50 laps of swimming. The day before, I had a friend over down, stayed with me 2 days. Before that, I stayed at a friend's for 2 days. Before that, I was at my parents'. So for me, it's not bragging, it's like, for me, that's an amazing life. Obviously, that wouldn't be glamorous in the Instagram world, but I don't care for that because it's like, oh, he's boring. He just, parents, friends, he's not showing money, fancy. That's not me. I don't need to do that. I'm not insecure in that way, right? But the reality is, deep down, these are the things that make us happy. And then when I come back, I'll go on YouTube, but I enjoy it. I catch up on the boxing, the Pacquiao fight. This is my personal hobby. I love filmmaking. So I guess, look, everyone's got a choice, but let me know what your thoughts on it. I know my thoughts. I live with myself 24 hours a day, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Pick your brains, guys and girls. Let me know in the box below. But I just found today, there's just too many traps. If it's not online dating, it's WhatsApping. If it's not WhatsApping, it's Skyping, it's Facebooking, it's Instagram, it's Snapchat, this chat, that chat. But what about real chatting in real time instead of not on the machines? So if you spend most of your life with machines, of course you're going to feel like you're not loved because machines can't love you. Maybe we can love machines who can't love us back, haven't got any emotions. I just wanted to remind everyone of that myself. But real human beings can love you, and you can love them. Thank God. So it has its place. You know, it's a great, amazing, sophisticated technological design. You know, the fact that you can just call anyone at any time, at any point in the world. We couldn't do that back in the day. But the consequences of that are, some people will go, well, I can't be bothered to go and take a trip to America because I just speak to my friend on Skype from America. It's not the same. Or I can't bother to go and see my family in person and be with them, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, have dinner with them and spend quality time with them because I just messaged my mum on WhatsApp or my dad, or I just sent them a voice message. No, you can't do, that's not sustainable unless you want to be ill, and you want to, I don't think anyone does, you want to have poor mental health. So exercising is, I'm not preaching to the choir, but I'm trying to motivate and help people. And I think, I know millions of people across the world think this. Some are not going to say it, they're too scared to speak up, that's their choice. I respect that. Some are saying it, some have kind of want to say it but kind of forgetting. So let's talk about this and get something positive. So I'm not saying to end social media, because it's brilliant that we can watch sport, boxing, and we can upload our own videos and we can create our own media. And all these, everyone's got independent platforms. That's amazing now. It's given people a voice where most of us before, we didn't really have a voice publicly. We only really had a voice around our family and friends. So I'm looking at the positives, and I'm saying if you get the balance right, social media can actually be good for your mental health. If you've got positive interactions online, and if you're positive, you don't troll people, and you engage in things that nourish you mentally and emotionally, make you feel good, and then you go out and you spend time with friends, and you go gym, you travel, you know, you interact with the public from day to day, then I haven't got a problem with it. It's not a problem for me. But most people, and of course I've been guilty of this myself, they're out of balance, as Miyagi would say. It's like 99% social media, 1% or 5% talking to people in real time. And the more and more I realise this, and kind of that's one of the positives from going through the horrible experience with the pandemic and COVID, is it gives you time to realise what's important, what works, what makes you happy, what makes you miserable, what affects you. So too much time in a house is not healthy anyway. Too much time in a house on a machine is definitely not healthy. And when people are out in restaurants, whatever, a lot of them are not even speaking to their friend, they're on their phones. So for me, it's about switching off at points. I do that regularly now. You know, there's not many apps on my phone. I have Facebook. I've just, I've got rid of WhatsApp for a break. I will get it back. I switch off so I can come away and focus on the gym, family, and, you know, real human connection in person. Unfortunately, you can't get real human connection over the internet. You cannot get it over Instagram. So it's all good and well, people wanting followers, but I wouldn't want to have followers at the price of having a terrible mental health. And especially as I have had a mental breakdown, had a bad one. Now it's really improving. So yes, social media can affect mental health if you don't get the balance right with real-time social interactions. But it can also be okay. It can be positive for your mental health if you adjust the time you spend on it and increase the time in person. So that's it. That's all I've got to say on this matter. But I will also add this, right? I'm going to elaborate more and separately about the online dating. I've always thought that's not healthy, because you're going on a machine, you're not getting to make an impression on a woman. And the same for women, for both of us, for men and women, right? We should be working together to help one another. That's how it should be. That's not exactly how it is in society, but that's where it really should be. It should be sticking together, not a war with each other. You know, you don't really get to know someone until you're in person with them and you can see if there's chemistry. You can't always feel that on a machine, messages or pictures. It's easy to look at someone's picture and go, oh, that person's attractive, oh, they're not. But you might feel different when you see them in person. People generally do look, sound, and they come across completely different in person as they do on a picture or a profile. So that's not good for mental health if you do it too much. Now, obviously, if you've got a great social life and you're social, then online dating, again, can be a positive thing if you're using it in a positive way, and then you get in to actually meet someone. If you met someone off it and got married, then of course, who could complain about that? But for a lot of people, there's a negative relationship with it. I personally don't use it. I haven't had to use it in many years. I have success through meeting women in real life. Thank God. That's it. All right. Like, share, subscribe. Let's talk about inbox below and become fearless.